The reason we got to stop saying please, sorry, and thank you is there's nothing wrong with those. You cannot modulate it. So unless you just take it away completely, you're just going to use those fillers for emotional dopamine pings. The reason you do it is you get something for it. You get attention. Please, thank you, I'm sorry, gives you points in the game. And those words are supplication. And when you say please, thank you, and I'm sorry to a sales prospect, they know that they have the high status position in a relationship.
We have got, I hate to say it because I've read so many sales books.
You got to sell it now. You have no choice.
Pitch Anything is like the best sales book I've ever read. I mean, I don't know if I'm going to piss off Tom Hopkins, who I did, learn how to sell through him. But he's now come out with another book called Flip the Script. Got him here on Perpetual Traffic here today, so this is a real treat for us. Welcome to Perpetual Traffic, Oren Klaff.
Hey, thank you. Thank you, Ralph and Lauren. I appreciate being here. And what a warm welcome. Let's make it... The welcomes are nice at the beginning of the show. Let's see if you could say the same thing in 45 minutes.
Well, the thing that I was asking you before, how do you want to be introduced? Because you're a best-selling author, 2 books, but, you've raised $400 million. You have an IQ of 400.
About half of the things he listed on his resume for that one, but okay.
That's true. But you manage money for 400 families, which is something to be proud of. That's an amazing achievement unto itself. The books are probably what we're going to be talking about here today, because probably those skills helped raise the funds in order to help all those 400 families. And you've written 2 books, obviously. Pitch Anything, which we'll leave links in the show notes. If you haven't read this, you got to read it or listen to it on audio. And then you just came out with a new book, Flip the Script, recently. And maybe just give the folks sort of an overview of what the whole idea behind Pitch Anything is. And then maybe we can talk about the second book and then how they kind of merge together and how those ideas really help formulate what I feel is an incredibly solid and effective persuasion strategy, I would say. I wouldn't even say it's like a sales tactic, because we're not talking about spin selling here. It's a way to persuade and to sort of control the conversation. And I think these books do a tremendous job with it. So maybe just give us an overview of Pitch Anything to start.
I think it's important to sort of understand what an author is too when you go to pick up and read a book. I look at sales guys who have 17 books or 13 books or 8 books. When I was writing Pitch Anything, I had a very good, well-known, a friend of mine, well-known screenwriter, wrote Collateral Damage, wrote The Hunted, with Nagasaki Deadline, wrote movies you would have seen in the theater. What happens is when you get a book contract, you talk to your friends, you go on podcasts, you sort of make outlines, and eventually your agent calls and she goes, "Can I see chapter 1 and 2? And you're like, and then you start writing chapter 1 and 2, you send in, and they're like, "This is not that, we want a book, not a white paper or some random thoughts." So just because you can read and just because you can talk does not mean you can write a book. You should ask about that. Stephen King. All right. So writing is something different. And so I called on my buddy, David Griffith, and I said, "David, I finally started writing. I wrote 2,000 words today. I'm going to have the book done by the end of the month." And he goes, "Oren, that's amazing. You wrote 2,000 words today?" I go, "Yes, David. I swear to God, I did. 2,008 words. He goes, "Go back and read them."
Yeah.
Writing for real writers, Stephen King, guys who do quality writing, is about 150 through the annals of history. Is about 150 to 250 words a day. You ain't writing 13 books in 3 years that are real books. So Pitch Anything is a real book. And one of the issues is a real book has everything in it that is you. This is why it's really hard to write 13 books. Right. If you're not a professional, right. If you're a sales guy, if you're a marketer, if you're a business guy, there's not 13 yous that have come into existence in 5 years. There's one. So most of the great books, there's one of. The movies too. Saw 1, Blair Witch Project 1, the one where they go to Las Vegas and Mike Tyson and they get a tiger.
Oh, The Hangover.
Hangover 1. Hangover 3 was not good. Was there a
Hold
Hangover
on.
4?
But Rush Hour had a great trilogy.
Rush Hour. Okay.
Rush Hour.
Exception to the rule.
I don't have a time machine that goes back that far. I'm just kind of talking about the modern era. But the Pleistocene age,
Post-dinosaurs.
Shots fired.
a creative endeavor encompasses all of you. right? And that's why the books that you love, Tom Hopkins, book, which you mentioned, the sales books, the marketing books, there's one of that's great is because it has everything that's in the life of that person, and that person doesn't have two lives. Now they will get a second life, which I wrote about and flipped the script in, 10 years later after having, a number one book for 10 years, a lot of things changed, got deeper, got richer, new insights. But you want to look at that author and what did they really put into the book? And why did they get into writing a book? I had an inflection point that led me to this. The guy I wrote about in the book, who I called Jonathan, is a real guy. I didn't write about this at all. We were in a deal and I needed the closing fee on it. The guys that we were selling the deal to were being very difficult, right? And they kept asking questions and wanting more information and not closing. And it was a $2 million wire. So back then it was before Gmail. You just had Microsoft and it would ding when your email rang, it ding, right? And we're tracking this deal. We're trying to close it. I really need the commission. Jonathan sent an email to everybody. 15 people copied on it. The subject line, all caps, 3 words, lose my number in the middle of a deal. And where I came from, like nobody talks to anybody like that. I came from, my dad was a college professor and both my parents are academics. I went to, very conservative institutions and I worked in very conservative banks. So an all caps email to 15 people in the middle of a deal that says, lose my number is like, this is done, right? There's no reality in which this is moving another millimeter down the road. And then ping, 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 ping. And I'm expecting all the FU, deal done. And all I start seeing is, we're sorry. Sorry, Jonathan. Didn't mean to be. And the deal closed 10 minutes later. And I said, what alternate universe am I in? And then I started noticing that, he had the ability to really is never be needy. And what I learned there is neediness kills deals. So how can you both be selling somebody and needing something and wanting something and needing the commission or needing the traffic or needing the relationship, and at the same time wanting it, loving it, being enamored with it, desiring it, and fundamentally in your DNA, maybe economically actually needing it, but not needing it at all. And living in that space became the meaning of my life, learning how to live in that gray area with wanting something with my heart and desire and mind more than anything else, but not wanting it at all.
I think that's the hardest part of sales, in my opinion, because you always want the sale, but if you come across, and I remember just coming across that concept and Pitch Anything, and then obviously, and it shows up in Flip the Script as well, is like that idea, and then trying to teach that to like my sales teams. And it's the hardest thing. And you gave an example in Flip the Script where you go out to North Dakota and you try and teach people how to do this for, I forget the name of it. It's like a cool motorcycle.
GP Star, real company.
Yeah.
GP Star.
And I was like, how the hell? And you didn't really say like how you did it. They just started selling more. I'm like, how did he figure out how to do that? And everybody's been in this situation where it's like, so what do you think? Like trial closes, always be closing, like all of that sort of bull crap that we learned in sales school. It's like, it's the opposite is true. And I'm teaching my sales teams now in my own business how to do it. And they're like, I'm amazed that this actually works. But then they fall back into these same old traps. Like, how do you do that? Because that's like a theme throughout both books, which I think is super important to comprehend.
I think there's a 101, just like college, there's a 101, a 102, a 103, a 201, and then graduate level work. So maybe I'll give you some insight onto, the various levels. I've taught 80,000 people from stage these couple of techniques. So I know because they'll come back the next day or that afternoon and they go, I just closed a $300,000 account. I did that yesterday at work. I did it. I got my self-respect back. That's greatness. Whether make the money, close deals or not. But if somebody doesn't have to live in fear of clients and accounts and sales managers and can live knowing that they ended the day with grace, poise, self-respect, left it all in the field and let it all work itself out. That to me is an amazing gift. And I think it starts here. Stop fucking saying please and thank you so much. And I'll tell you why. There's nothing wrong with please and thank you. And I'm sorry. I myself say I'm sorry twice a year.
Twice a year? Christmas and your partner's birthday.
Maybe not that often, but it sounds good on a podcast. I don't want to say zero. It sounds really.
Are you about to apologize for lying? Did we get our one for the year?
I will say, Lauren, I appreciate how you feel. I can understand that it's miserable. I mean, misery. This is what I will tell sales prospects at this point. Lauren, let me tell you how it all ends. The sun burns out and human civilization goes away. All right. So before that happens, let's try and figure out how we're going to do this together. The reason we got to stop saying please, sorry, and thank you is there's nothing wrong with those. You cannot modulate it. So unless you just take it away completely, you're just going to use those fillers for emotional dopamine pings. You'll get some, the reason you do it is you get something for it. You get attention. Please, thank you, I'm sorry, gives you points in the game. Bloop, 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 bloop. You know, you're trying to win points, you're trying to win commissions, right? You're bing, right? Oh, I just got another couple points in the game. This call continues.
Yeah. I mean, I know it's so true because there are times where I've been like, just apologize. Just gosh dang it, like apologize. Like I don't understand. Like it will help you so much more from my ego's perspective for someone to admit that they were wrong. I'm like, just apologize. But yeah, I'm 100% keeping score.
As a young salesperson, Ralph can't modulate those words. And those words are supplication. And when you say please, thank you, and I'm sorry to a sales prospect, they know that they have the high status position in a relationship.
The power.
Number two. So if that's 101, and I'll give you a way to make that happen. If you get on a call, give me an example of salespeople that you work with and who they get on a call with.
The habit I always first break is thank you so much for meeting with us. It's like it's the first mistake, I think. Thank you so much for taking the time.
Give me the setup. Who is the salesperson? Who is the client? What are the stakes? What's the size of the deal?
Average size deal for us is about $250,000 a year, ARR. And it's a sales prospect in the e-commerce niche. And, it's a sought after like beauty brand that probably a lot of agencies are coming after. And the first thing that the salesperson wants to say is, thank you so much for taking the time to meet us.
Got it. I'm going to fix that right now. That's good because it's a good high stakes sale. Who's the buyer? Who's typically on the line?
It's usually the director of digital, the director of marketing, something like that. So it's not usually the CEO at that level, but sometimes it can be. They'll bring them in every now and then, but usually, yeah, it's somebody who reports to somebody else for sure.
Self-entitled, high status, feels that they have the control in the relationship, feels like the power in the relationship belongs to them, right? 19 out of times, those guys come to the Zoom or the phone call a few minutes late. Fair?
Oh, absolutely. Every single time.
Yes.
Just like I do. Except today.
100% of the time, I will say, hey, Ralph, are you here for the 12:35 meeting? Because the 12:30 meeting is just starting to get going and might even wrap up.
Small acts of defiance.
Are you here for the 12:35 meeting?
That's bold.
That's good.
So this scares young people to say it. So unfortunately, I go to meetings yesterday, guys who manage billion-dollar funds. Multiple times, billionaires, definitely guys worth 20, 30, 40, $150 million. I've helped people sell multiple companies, where they walked away with $100, $130 million. I deal with people who are self-enamored, self-empowered, feel like they have the alpha position in every deal no matter what. And they always come to calls late. And I always go, hey, Jim, you here for the 9:13 meeting? And guess what they always say? Always, I'm sorry.
Oh, bad.
Now it just went backwards. I reversed gravity. Now you're apologizing to me, and this is set up correctly.
That was your wicked moment defying gravity.
So that's 101, 102. Stop saying sorry, please.
Stop saying sorry, but potentially prompt them to say sorry is sort of the 102.
Listen, this is why, because in our culture, everybody understands the value of time. Billionaires understand the value of time, even if you are the guy doing the valet. They book the valet, for 3 p.m. They show up at 3:05. The valet guy goes, hey, I've been waiting for you. The first thing I'm about to say, I'm sorry. That's our culture. Timeliness is one of the most respected early signals of having a quality value system that matches in with our Judeo-Christian political social culture that we have here in America. People who don't understand the value of time don't go far in our system. It's just how we work. I don't know how they do it in Scandinavia. I don't know how they do it in Nicaragua. That's how we do it here. As they said in Iron Man, it worked pretty good for Dad, worked pretty good for me. And that's how the government does it. Introducing the Jericho.